happiness is an inside job. What do you mean by that?
So I talk about happiness in the book, slightly begrudgingly, because I think we try and convince people that we should try and be happy and happiness is the end goal. But in doing so, we make lots of people very unhappy. And that's because happiness is just a deflection from the baseline. Happiness, sadness, grief, anger, jealousy, regret, remorse, all of these deflections play a role. When I failed to get the marks I needed to get into med school first time round, I missed out on my chemistry A grade by 2 marks. My coursework was moderated down, and I missed out. I placed at Liverpool. The head teacher rang and said, Alex would be a good student, give him a go. Nope. If I was walking around happy that whole day and smiling away, it'd be pretty weird. Everyone would be like, what is wrong with this guy? He's just lost his place in med school. And also, if I was happy all the time, I wouldn't do anything. No one does anything hard or does anything without feeling there is an urgency to do so. There's an intention to do so. If I was just happy all the time, if the whole human race was happy all the time, nothing would get done. There'd be no reason, like imperative initiative for us to do anything.
That's happy defined by hedonistically happy rather than eudaimonically happy, or I think the word happy is weird because it's got so many different...
But I think the problem is it's tarnished because we use it as that. I think what people mean is peace. I think it's balance, equilibrium, right? Like hemodynamics in the body, like being in a state of peace is, I think, is the goal. This kind of hedonistic, I agree with the absolutely idea of happiness. I mean, chasing this feeling of like warm, fuzzy feeling all the time, it just leaves you to misery. And also people then go, well, if I'm not happy all the time, there's something wrong with me. And that creates discomfort and discontent and the opposite of peace. When someone dies in your family, you should feel sad and grief. When something bad happens, you should feel frustration. When you want to achieve something and it feels far away, you want to feel determination and all that kind of stuff. And I think the real goal is just finding that equilibrium between everything. I think no one should live in anxiety all the time. No one should feel sad all the time. No one should feel happy all the time. We've got to find that balance between everything. And you'll find actually when you stop chasing happiness as defined by the hedonistic view of happiness, you'll actually find that you're much more content in life. It's kind of like with a relationship. If you're looking for a relationship that's full of thrills and highs and craziness all the time, this kind of dopamine rush of like love all the time, the Newton's third law tells us every action has an equal and opposite reaction of energy. So a lot of the kind of love-drunk relationships also have huge lows and huge arguments and fallouts and so on. Really, you want a relationship with someone where you're content, you're at peace, you balance each other out, and that generally you move through life in a synergistic way. That's actually what most people want. Again, in love, you should be looking for someone that, you can't stop thinking about. That sounds pretty bad, doesn't it? Yeah. To me, that doesn't sound like a good relationship, but it's what we're sold. So I think redefining our view of happiness, looking at it as like, I want to feel that in each day I generally have a state of purpose, there's a reason to be, that I get joy out of my day, that I'm able to deal with life's challenges, that I can create connection with people, that I spend a reasonable amount of time doing things I enjoy. I think that to me sounds like a good life. And just, again, if in doubt, ask yourself, what does a good life look like to me? What does it mean to have a good life? When's the last time you sat down and thought, is this life that I have the life that I want? And if it isn't, what am I doing each day to work towards the life I do want? If you're just moving constantly and doing things because the people expect you to, and it's not essential, and you agree to stuff and don't have boundaries, before you know it, you'll end up wherever the river's taking you. The river will take you in the direction that it's flowing. And if you allow yourself to succumb to that, you will just follow the direction of that river. You've got to I think you've got to sometimes in life just stop. You've got to step out, you've got to paddle towards the shore, get out of the river, take a moment to have a look at the direction it's heading in, and then decide if that's what you want. Discomfort tells you something. If you're feeling discomfort in your life, it's signal. It's like pain. We learn about it, don't we? Pain is telling you something. It's just a message. It's just telling you that there's something happening. You've got to make a decision if you're going to take your hand out of the fire or not. That's your decision. But if you just don't look at your hand that's burning, you're not going to know what's happening, are you? You're just going to kind of carry on. That's why it's like, oh, well, should we get rid of pain? No, we need pain because you need pain to know. Otherwise, you don't know when you're standing leaning on the stove.
Hey friends, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this clip, then click here for the full unedited episode. And if you like that, then do please consider subscribing to the channel. It means a lot. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.